welcome back to another episode of the Coleman Co podcast YouTube channel. So, as you'll know, if you listen to any of my other episodes, I'm all about explaining how we can, as a team, bring back value to business owners through motorsport marketing. And I thought there is no better person to get on to the YouTube channel this week than my very good friend, Andrew Benda from City Rural Insurance. So thank you, Andrew, for joining me today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited. So Andrew, you've been part of my whole motorsport journey. Actually, I've learned a lot from you and understood a lot about the, business benefits you see from sponsorship. But before we get into all of that fun stuff, let's first talk about if you're around the motorsport track, you will very likely have seen Andrew around the track. You don't miss him. We see him on broadcast all the time. Just ask Matt Nolte. But for those of you, those listening who don't know you, Andrew, tell us who you are and who City Rural Insurance are.
Yeah, so Andrew Benda, I'm part of City Rural Insurance Brokers. We are a general insurance brokerage looking after clients Australia-wide in a whole range of varying fields, from transport to builders, construction, professional indemnities, and down to tradies and residential home and contents and boats and all of that. It's all schemes with food vans, which is really good for the motorsport because there's always food vans there, which is great to see. So we do all general insurance and advocate on behalf of our clients and work hard to achieve the best results for them.
Awesome. So we've talked a little bit about who you look after as clients, but I would love to know, first of all, how motorsport landed in your kind of realm for business development and for growing your client base. And how it first landed on your radar is this is something worth me investing in as a business.
Yeah, so I've been engaged with motorsport and been a bit of a fan for many, many years. The business was at a point where we were looking for another opportunity to create some brand awareness and also networking and drive some new business in that we'd not tried before. We've done some some print ads and that sort of thing, and they weren't quite hitting the mark. So an opportunity came up. Funnily, it actually came up through a LinkedIn post, it was something that I wanted to explore. I'd heard a lot about it and about the values of the motorsport community, and how they look after their sponsors, and the public that go to the tracks and watch it on TV also look after the brands they see associated with motorsport. So it was something that I thought, well, let's give it a go. It wasn't for a full season, the original bit. It was only for a few rounds. So I was pretty keen to give it an option, give it a go, and make so I could see how it all worked and make it all happen.
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk about getting into sponsorship then. So you dipped your toe into sponsorship, and now you're a part of Cody Mackay, Amar Sharma, and Jack LeBrock's whole team. Team. So I would love to know what drew you to each of those drivers and how that relationship started.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Through one of our main insurers that we use, I'd gotten to know Jack LeBrock, who and sort of followed him in his supercar career, and he sort of approached me. So with Jack LeBrock, we do a personal sponsorship, so we're not team based with him. So it's a little bit of a different option to look at when doing what you're sponsoring. So we sponsor him personally, so we're on his helmet, and also on his race suit. So I'd gotten to know him. He understands insurance. He used to work in an insurance company, so there was a really good connection there. I knew that he sort of understood how we worked, what we did, so that was important. With Cody and Amar, they're a little bit different. So that's through with Amar, he bought a car that we were sponsoring already, and I was impressed by the professionalism and the commitment that he had made to developing the team and the brand Vast Motorsport that he's the owner of, and how just how everything sort of works. And then you talk about with him, talk about sort of the team and the engagement with his team is really like they're really committed and want to achieve. With Cody, Cody is one that I was sponsoring for a few years now, and to be honest, I cannot remember how it started. I just know that there was it was something that just clicked when we first started talking. I can't remember how that came about. And Cody's in the Aussie racing cars, so a different category again, and that's something that I like. I like the visibility of his product, and it doesn't blend in with all the other cars. His personality doesn't blend in with all the other teams.
We know that.
Yeah, and there again, there's certainly a commitment to achieve, and also he also is, as a business owner, understands the needs of insurance and what we do. So there was some, it was pretty good the way that all fell together and worked out, and we've been on for the last couple of years with Cody.
Yeah, so it's probably worth noting, obviously, Jack LeBrock in Supercars, so he's going across to MSR next year. So obviously,
Yes.
Being the driver sponsor, you'll just kind of go across with him. Amar being in Super Utes this year, and Vast being in Super Utes, but then going across to Porsche next year, which is super exciting. And then, yes, Cody, I'm not surprised it's not memorable at all. Sometimes you just want to forget engagements and encounters with him. But yes, so stay in Aussie racing cars next season too. So lots happening. And you're, I guess, you're more broad across a lot of categories instead of investing a lot into kind of like one category, which I think is smart.
Yes, yeah. So it also means more track visits and more weekends at motorsport.
That's right. And that sounds horrible, doesn't it? Oh God, I don't know how you do it.
I know.
So when you're deciding to sponsor a driver, and so if any businesses listening, I guess you've just touched on really well around what you kind of looked for or what the connection point was. What would be the things that you would recommend that they look at in terms of if they're sponsoring a team or the driver themselves? I guess, is it, like you talked about, is it if they want, brand awareness? Is it the activations that teams do? Or if it's, B2B, is it the professionalism of the driver? Like, talk us through that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so one thing that is part of a must-have for me is the connection with the team, and the fact that it's a two-way street, and we will we want to be engaged with what they're doing, how they're going at the track, and that sort of thing. So for them being able to communicate that to us and create a really good connection is really important for us. there can be there are different reasons why go one team over another team, and there's certainly we get approached all the time now for sponsorship, and it looks at, like, I look at the values and the way that the teams will promote us as well, and is there synergies between us? Are they committed? Are they just someone that is a grassroots sports person that's wants wants something small for a local round or something like that, versus a committed team for a series and with the Aussie racing cars and the Utes competing in rounds where the supercars are for the brand awareness and visibility. So they're things that are important. And yeah, it is important. I think it is really important that you get to know who you're sponsoring, and that they want to, there's great synergies, and you can work well together, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. I think as someone who's created content on behalf of drivers for your brand, it's a lot
Yep.
easier because, we know each other quite well, and I know what your brand is about. So it's a lot easier for me to create content, with our drivers, knowing that, some brands obviously want to be super serious and they need to make sure they hit, key points in advertising. But obviously, we know with you, we can be a bit cheeky and we can, do things a little bit differently and utilize the personalities, if you will, in the team to get the most entertaining content out of them.
Yeah. Yes. And there's certainly some good laughs at the track and over the weekends for sure.
Yes, that's true. Never a dull team dinner.
No,
these days, is there?
No.
We have lots of fun. All right, so let's talk about return on investment and results. So real legitimate stats that you can speak to. So you've, I guess, talked about the impact that you've seen from sponsorship, but I would love to know literally direct links between either leads of a weekend or business increases from race rounds and things like, we talk like tangible uplifts. You are able to see that directly from what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's for us, it's quite a broad area that we look at in regards to that return on investment. Being insurance, generally, it's a once a year purchase. So we can be talking to people now, but we won't see, like, we'll develop a relationship and that, but we won't actually see a financial benefit until next year when their renewals are due and that sort of thing. So that's one thing that we're aware of, and I factor in that it's not like they're going to turn around and go into the shop and buy our product tomorrow. So for us, it's a little bit different in that way. But where I have seen the big uplifts is, so I mentioned the food trucks. So popping in and saying hello to the food trucks, which are clients, they then take me to the food truck next door and go, "Hey, John, you need to speak to this bloke with the insurance." So you start the relationship there, meeting people at the track and talking to them and getting a connection there. The other thing which I think has surprised me, probably one of the most benefits out of it, is our existing clients and finding out how many of them are involved in motorsport. So with a lot of that, it's well, we've got a car we do hill climb in. It's not registered. It's sitting in the garage. It's like, "Oh yeah, have you got a trailer?" "Yeah, we've got the trailer and all the tools and that." I said, "Oh, we can do a motorsports package for you." So you get it's the cross sell which has surprised me the most. the client retention piece as well, because we're engaging with them in a different space, and it's not a business space as such. It's developing the relationship and giving them something different. So it's that sort of thing for us, where we've seen a really good retention of clients, because they go, oh, we've got a great relationship, we've got good experience here. Being able to sort of, do those additional covers, which they didn't realize we could do, because they doing hill climbs or go-karts or enduro motorbike racing. I've found out clients do this stuff through the sponsorship at piece. So it's not just the new business clients that we're getting a return on investment on. It's our existing clients where we're creating a new drive for them to be able to come to us and go, oh, I've just bought this motorbike with a sidecar, going to do 24-hour enduros. It's like, oh, okay, no worries. Do you want? I've got a place, I can go and insure that for you. So that's where for us it's been really very beneficial.
Yeah, I think that kind of that relationship is invaluable when it comes to like insurance is something we all have to have. And, it's a very different experience to, like going online and being like, oh, I need to insure this, I need to insure that, versus, having someone that you already know. And it literally just opens up a conversation. It's like, oh, I'm just about to buy another house, or I'm just about to buy another car, or I've just bought a boat, all of these things. It's just a conversation with you, and then it's like, Andrew, here, go do everything else, because I don't want to, it's too stressful to do with it.
And that's the thing, and that for us is being able to provide that service, and it's something that is really great to be able to connect back with the motorsport and have those warm leads come through as well. So I was at Sandown on the weekend, and I've got 4 leads out of Sandown, being at Sandown. So it's there's return there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And just to confirm, you will insure people in town and in the country. So we do
That's
city
right.
and we do rural everywhere.
City and rural. Yes.
Amazing. So I have heard like a first-hand experience of people knowing your brand. I walked into a lift with Amar who had his city rule, but he didn't have the CPU's logos on anything. And there was a guy there, and he said, "Oh, do you know the guy who races the city rural ute?" It's like, "Oh yeah, we might know him." So have you had conversations where people were talking about the city rural ute or the city rural Aussie car, or Jack LeBrock, where you're like, "Oh yeah, that's actually me."
Yes, yeah. So it does happen, and it's quite it's quite surprising when it can be quite left field, and like as you're saying, you jump in a lift and conversation starts. So yeah, we do. I do see that, and the other thing is the people getting contact, messaging me because they've seen it on TV and seen something happen on TV, and they going, "Oh, here, this has happened." It's like, yeah, thanks. Yep, I'm here. I saw that, but yeah. So it's something that walking around and someone saying, "Oh, so what City Rural do? I've seen you on the TV and that." So yeah, it's good. We get a lot out of it in that regard, and they generally develop into a lead from just seeing it on TV and a bit of a conversation.
Yeah, and that's the kind of referral you can't actually buy.
Yes.
So I guess speaking of buying, like you just said before, you tried print ads. I'm sure you tried digital ads. There's radio. There's traditional TV media as well. So as you've had your business for a long time. So what have you seen the return on those traditional methods of marketing versus what you're doing in motorsport?
Chalk and cheese,
Mm.
to be honest. The digital ads. So we did the back cover of the Adelaide UBD Street Directory
Ah,
many
yes,
years ago, and I
yes.
thought, oh, this is good because this is before um, Navman and all
Google
of
Maps.
that, and yeah, and it was sort of like, oh, people hold on to that for a couple of years. We're going to be there. Everyone sort of, it sits in the car. Everyone sees it, all of that sort of thing. So I thought, oh yeah, that was good. That'd be good. Yeah, but I mean, we might have got one or two leads out of it. That's about it. Um, we've done some other digital advertising, and Google AdWords
Mm-hmm.
type promotions or ads, and that's been, that hasn't really resulted in any great benefit for us. But on the flip side, yeah, with the sponsorship within the motorsport stuff, I've been surprised by how much business we have got out of it, and people just, I've seen you on the Ute, on the Aussie racing car. Can we get a quote? And talking to the other sponsors that are on the cars as well is yep, no, we need to get a quote. Here you go. And I've had times where I've been at the track and Cody's rung me, says, where are you? I'm turned 14, turned 12, whatever. And he says, oh, I need you over here. I'm talking to someone, they need insurance. So okay, no worries. I'll come over. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, this is a perfect segue into what I wanted to touch on next, because I think that outside of the brand awareness and the promotions and,
Mm.
the big amplification of, big logos and cars and things is actually the B2B relationships you can build trackside, because,
Yep.
I would find that a lot of the fields are either business owners, and all of the sponsors are obviously businesses. So
Yes.
how have you found being in and around the paddock has opened doors with you in terms of relationship and networking?
Yeah. So it it's something that has been very like quite surprising, eye-opening for me in regards to you hear about the networking and people working together and that, and it's sort of like, oh, okay, no worries. But it's true that the way that everyone sort of looks to support, and I know, there's often comments about that the sponsors are supported by the audience, and I've really seen that with the motorsport sponsorship, and the team, the other sponsors do, and are quite happy to talk to you about what their needs are, and what opportunities there are, and whilst we do the insurance, so there's not always a great opportunity for us to send stuff in return, like referrals or that, but it's the sort of thing that it just goes, oh, someone's speaking, they need something. I know, oh yeah, I spoke, they're a sponsor, I know who to, let me make a call, I'll get a contact for you, that sort of thing. So that's something that has been really good, and with the sponsors, they do look after each other, I think.
Yeah, I think the sponsors that are in the paddock, they really want to be there. So it's like, how do we
Mm.
all make this work for each other so that we
Yeah.
can, really refer business to you, you refer business to me, our businesses are all thriving, and we can, continue to put the funds into motorsport.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Awesome.
and I think it's also good talking, getting new relationships, and just talking to other business owners and about what's going on, what are they seeing, and yeah, just getting that insight into it might be an area of business where you've not looked into or sort of understood, and you can use these opportunities to do that.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. And I think it just gives, like you say too, with what you do insurance, it comes up like either when you need it or like yearly when you come up for your renewal. So
Mm.
if been speaking to somebody for the last 9 months and you're like, oh, my insurance is due. Well, I know who I'm calling.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about working together with the drivers. So
yep.
um, I'm completely biased asking this question. I think it's hilarious, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How do your drivers help you bring partnerships to life? So social content, hospitality, appearances,
Yep.
etc.
Yeah. So, with with Jack LeBrock, the sponsorship with him is quite different to Cody and Amar. The So with Jack, I put Jack in my in a retention piece. So I use him more for retention of existing clients.
Mm-hmm.
He's focused on in the motorsport. He does send refer people to us, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that opportunity that both Cody and Amar do. However, last year before Adelaide, I organised a dinner with some top clients, and Jack came, like with Jack as the guest, and they were blown away by that, and it changes the relationship. So, and then the different level of experience, like with the pit tours,
Yeah.
in amongst the supercar, and that sort of thing. So he's a little bit different. So, but being able to you utilize him for those meet and greets, and that is fantastic. Then with Amar and Cody, yeah, a little bit different. So they're both business owners. They both know lots of people. They both refer business to us, and they're also a lot easier to get to at the track.
Yeah.
And yeah, they'll talk about the cars. They'll talk about the team. Not normally in Cody's, but I know with Amar, often people can get to sit in the ute. Cody, it's a little bit hard because you kind of need to be, yeah, good at Pilates or yoga to
Very,
get in
very
and out.
flexible.
And yeah, um, but yeah, so yeah, I use them slightly differently in that space, and their social content and the things they do is yeah, a lot more. It's whilst there are very serious parts to it, it's also light-hearted and something just different, for engage like entertainment in regards to with the clients and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's quite a different space with them, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun. So if you had a business owner came up to you and said, look, I'm thinking about sponsoring a driver or a team,
Yep.
but I'm not too sure, what is your advice to them?
I definitely, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great way to promote your brand and your business. It's something that you need to be able to um, be very proud of what it is. With everyone, Jack Amar and Cody, we are part of the team. We're not just, oh, thanks for the check. We are part of what they're doing and what they're trying to achieve. So it's really good. It is a lot of fun. It's eye-opening, and you do get to feel the highs and lows of motorsport. It is something where, because I'm at the track a lot with doing my photography piece, I'm standing there, I'm watching the cars go past, and then I notice my guy's not gone past. And it's like, oh, what? Where are they? And then you start trying to find out what's happened, where are they gone, and it's sort of like, oh no. And then on the flip side, you see they've made up a couple of spots, and it's really exciting. So that's really a great sort of benefit with the sponsorship, that engagement in that regard. Yeah, I think the promotional aspects of brand awareness, with the right teams, you can generate, you can come up with ideas and do things to help your brand stand out. And it's something that Cody and Amar have done really well in that brand awareness piece, and it's been really good. But I think if you are looking to it, to do it, there is a commitment on your side as well. I think it's important that you do get engaged with the team, and you do pop along to the track, and take people along, get people to meet, or get your clients to meet them, meet the drivers, meet the teams. It's all part of it, and the drivers and teams love it. They really enjoyed that giving back, and quite often you've sort of got to cut them off and go, look, I'm sorry, we got somewhere else to be. So, or sit there and go, hey, Megan, doesn't Cody need to be somewhere else?
Gotcha. Yeah, Cody, you need it over here. Come on, let's go.
So once you start them talking, So.
Yes, well, that's I think how passionate they are, I suppose, and I guess personally knowing the drivers that you sponsor, I know they have that personal care, and I think that's why you and I do spend so many team dinners together. It's because it's we do have so much fun, and it's that relationship. And yes, you get to see city, rural in big lights. Hearing commentators say it as you go across, but like you say, it's you physically go to the track every single round, so you're looking and you're like, where are they gone, like what's going on, and then you're going to go back to the pits, and then it's really sad, or they made up 5 spots, and it's like it's like an emotional roller coaster you cannot explain compare it to anything.
It certainly is. And I think I think I've done very well with who I've sponsored. And the synergy with them and us, and their commitment to value add to the sponsorship as well has been really good, and something that I've noticed and have greatly appreciated with them.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look at the way that Cody and Jack do it particularly well, that maybe some other teams can kind of understand that sponsorship is businesses are investing their hard-earned money into your brand, I suppose. So how can we give back? And that's the whole thing that we do with what I do as well, is how do we give that value back, so that you make sure that you know that the team's put in a lot of effort in a race weekend and outside a race weekend too, to make sure that we're saying your brand a million times. So, well, speaking of, we've got Adelaide coming up next weekend, so you'll be in and around the track. So what are you looking for out of next weekend, besides being sad that the race season's over?
So It's quite a big one next weekend. Certainly looking forward to catching up with and having a bit of a celebration with Cody being the end of the Aussie racing car season. We had that last weekend in Melbourne with Amar on the Utes, and then catch up with Jack as well. Organise some pit tours, have some clients come along, and do that. It's something that with going along and having the exposure there, certainly talking to more people, talking to new people looking to sponsor, understanding sort of what the plans are with Cody and Amara and Jack for next year. It'll be it's always a busy weekend. Adelaide, there's a lot of sort of shenanigans being the last round. Lots going on to keep up with. So it'll be good fun.
Yeah, it will be good fun. In and amongst taking some photos, I'm sure.
Yes. So, looking at the timing, and the Aussie racing cars are sort of on track just after 8 o'clock each morning, I think. That'll be in there early, and jumping behind my camera lens and enjoying capturing the moments through there and sharing them with the team, and having fun.
Yeah, awesome. So is there any other advice or anything else you wanted to cover off before we wrap up for this episode?
Yeah, I think so working with the team is really important. The synergies, the connections between yourself and the team, making sure that that they're able to promote what you're doing is really important, and they understand what you do. The other thing which we sort of haven't really touched on too much is merchandise. The merchandise piece, and walking around and sort of seeing someone wearing your team shirt from last year, or there's people wearing your colours at the track, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. And they're adding value to the sponsorship, because they're also inadvertently promoting your brand as well. So that's another thing that has been really good as well. But look, I think you don't need to be massive dollars in there. It's something that you could do a couple of rounds, and then work with the team and see how the experience went and that sort of thing. So it's something that's definitely worthwhile doing.
Yeah, I think merch is a great one. I think if you look at anybody at a racetrack that even if they're not fans, maybe they'll need a hat, they'll buy a hat, or maybe just because they'll buy a team shirt. And even at the Ability 1000 that that Amar had a couple of weeks ago, the amount of sales of the City Rural shirts is just insane. So just this sea of City Rural orange and black around the place, it was actually really, really cool.
And I know stubby holders are very popular. They're really good and that sort of thing. So there's lots of different ways. And then even as at a business function, you're giving out a motorsport stubby holder or having them available. There's another level of presentation, another point of promoting your brand that they're going to take away from as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I've got my City Rural bar mat, and I've got about 4 stubby holders here as well. I've got a wine cooler. I've got a coffee thermos. So City Rural merch up. Amazing. Well, if you're going to the races next weekend and you need to speak insurance, make sure you look out for Andrew. He's the photographer with the City Rural hat on. But if there's a direct line number that people can reach you on, can they call a particular number?
Yep. So best number would be 0422 426857. That'll come straight to my phone. If I'm at a track, you may have trouble hearing me, but yeah, I'm still working.
Yes, yes, he's still working. That's right. It's still counted
Yes.
as working. And if you can't get through on that number, I've heard that if you call 1-800-BENDA, that you can get through to you as well.
Yes.
No, use the mobile number.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. Really appreciate
No
you
worries.
coming on.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. No worries.